Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Epsom Downs here on Wednesday. It is April the 24th, 2019. I'm going to look at all the races here on Derby Trial Day from Epsom, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also we have some things to plug here. Next week is the Punchestown Festival in Ireland over the jumps. I'll be previewing all those races. Also, next week is the Kentucky Derby from Churchill, and I will have previews and selections for basically the whole week from Churchill, starting this Saturday until the following Saturday. And also, we have the 2,000 guineas and 1,000 guineas next weekend from Newmarket. I'll have preview and selection for those cards also. So some great races ahead. But this Epsom card is one of my favorite cards of the year. It's you see some good horses here, and it's very fun to, I think this is when the flat racing in the UK really starts to heat up again. So we're going to look at all 6 races. They're very fun, competitive races. Let's get to the first down the Flying 5. The first race, the 210, it is the Investec Asset Finance Handicap, Class 3 handicap, going for a purse of $25,500. Races for 4-year-olds and upwards, horses rated 81 to 95. Fields of 10 horses going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. Down the Flying 5. Top selection, I'm going to take the 4-horse Mary Banter. I'm going to go 495 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 495 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 4-horse Mary Banter. This 5-year-old mare by Bated Breath. Paul Mullerin gets the leg up for Paul Midgley. The horse's most recent outing came 2nd of April. They came at Musselburgh on firm ground. 5 furlongs under Class 2 conditions. First off the break, he finished 5th by 6 3/4 lengths, and he just kind of weakened out of it a few strides from the finish. Never got the good closing kick. It wasn't his day first off the break. I think coming here down the Flying 5, I think he'll run a lot better of a trip. Before that, he ran on a Class 4 red car back on the 6th of October, 5 furlongs, good ground. The horse won by a neck, and at 12 to 1, he had to be used a lot at the end, but he got the job done. A very good run. And then the 26th of September of 2018 at Wolverhampton, 5 furlongs in a Class 4 handicap. He finished 7th by 2 3/4 lengths there, and he just never got around the race course well. I don't think he did well around the bend. And then at Yarmouth, 5 furlongs in a Class 2. He finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths. He ran okay, and then his last victory came at Ayr last August in a 5 furlong Class 4 handicap, which he won by 2 1/4 lengths, and he won very nicely with a high weight. With the 136 pounds, the way he won that day, it doesn't get any easier than that. I think he's properly handicapped to these horses today, and good post draw. At 6 to 1, I think he has a chance, so I'll take him. So to recount my selections for the first, a 210 from Epsom, I'm going to go with the 4-horse Mary Banter. I'm going to go 495 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. Let's get to race number 2. The featured second race from Epsom, the 245, it is the Blue Riband Trial. It's the Derby Trial here, going for its listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for a purse $64,000. It's raced for 3-year-olds only. Field of 7 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to take the number 7 horse, who is Turgenev. Hopefully I said that right. I'm going to go 712 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 712 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, 7-horse Turgenev. This 3-0 colt by Dubawi. Frankie Dettori gets the leg up for John Gosden. The horse's most recent outing came the 12th of April, which was last Friday, or 2 Fridays ago now, at Newbury. A mile and a quarter soft ground in a Class 3 handicap, or Class 3 conditions race. First off the break, he finished 7th by 15 lengths. Don't think he liked the soft ground. He had he looked like he was going to do something, but then he just never quickened up. He never stayed the distance. It wasn't the day to win on demanding ground. I think coming here, firm ground, again mile and a quarter, I think he'll run a lot better. Before that, he ran at Doncaster on the 27th of October, 1 mile in the Group 1 Vertum Futurity Trophy, the Racing Post Trophy. He finished 7th by 4 3/4 lengths, and at 7 to 2, again, just kind of weakened out of it on very wet ground. He never got the turn of foot. And then the last time he ran on quite dry ground came at Newmarket last October the 6th, 1 mile in Class 4 novice. He won by 1.5 at 91 cents to the dollar, heavyweight. He quickened up nicely. It was a very good run. And then at Newcastle in the all-weather, 1 mile in a Class 5 novice. He won by 6, and he just won very nicely. Only 4 of the rivals, and there were 4 very subpar rivals, but he still won very nicely. His worst races, I think, have come on wet ground. He's going to see quite a firm ground today. He should like the mile and a quarter trip, and I think second off the break he should do well. Just keep in mind, Frankie Dettori and John Gosden have won this race on the last 4 runnings since 2015, so they know their way around this race. And John Gosden has won this. They've won this race many times separately also. So they know their way around this course. So at 9 to 2, I'll take this horse. horse. I think a horse at a smaller price could get a piece of it also if they're not going to take down the Tory Gossen Empire here. I think the one horse, Arthur Kitt, could get a piece of it. Richard Kingscote's on this one for Tom Dascombe. This is the kind of horse I would possibly do, depending on his odds for the Derby, possibly do a small, if he's up there in odds, I might do a small win wager on him for the Derby because I think he might stay the mile and a half trip. But the question is with the class, can he handle it? But his most recent outing came in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at Churchill on soft ground, 1 mile, November the 2nd. He finished 4th by 2.5 lengths. He had a decent turn of foot. A lot of horses weren't really closing from the clouds that day, but this horse, he had a decent turn of foot, and he ran a decent 4th place finish there off the break. A few weeks earlier, Newmarket 1 mile in the Royal Lodge Stakes, he finished 5th by 6 lengths there, and again, he just never got into it. It wasn't his day to win, and then at Sandown, 7 furlongs in the Solario Stakes, he finished 2nd by 4 lengths behind Too Darn Hot, who unfortunately is going to be missing the Guineas to my chagrin, but, he just couldn't keep up with Too Darn Hot, and then he won his first 2 races very easily, one at Royal Ascot and one at Haydock last May. He's another horse, I think the mile and a quarter trip for the first time should really suit him, I think even the 2,400 meters should suit him a lot also. I think he's loaded here at 2-1. I'll definitely use him in the exotic wagers. So to recount my selection for the second, the 245 from Epsom, it is the Blue Riband Trial. I'll take the 7-horse Turgenev as a top selection. Like I said, I'll give some points to the 1-horse Arthur Kitt also. I'll go 7-1-2 in the tri-cash trifecta. Let's get to race number 3 from Epsom. The third race, the 320 from Epsom, it is the Investec Great Metropolitan Handicap. It's a Class 3 handicap going for a purse of $25,500. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Horses rated 81 to 95. Field of 14 horses going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go to the number 2 horse, Firefighting. I'm going to go 253 in the tri-cash trifecta. 253 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 2 horse, Firefighting. This 8-year-old owned by Soldier of Fortune. William Buick gets leg up from Mark Johnston. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of March at Pontefract, a mile and a quarter on firm ground in a Class 2 handicap. He finished 5th by 5 lengths, and he never got into it. He ran okay, he galloped well, but he just never quickened up. It wasn't his day to win, but he's been getting better with every turf race so far this season. Every race a little bit this season. Before that, Kempton, though, mile 3/8 in the Class 2 handicap, he backfired there. He finished 13th by 26 lengths. He had a wide post, he had a trouble trip. It was more of a trip than his own fault there. And then before that, at Linkfield, a mile and a half in a Class 2, he finished 2nd by 3/4 length. He had a decent turn of foot, and I thought he ran quite well there. And then at Linkfield, a mile and a half, March 15th, first off the break on a Class 3 handicap. He finished 3rd by 3 lengths. Again, he closed up well late in the race. He's going a mile and a half today. He likes the trip. He likes the turf. He's going to have to overcome a wide poster. You don't want to be wide going on the Derby course here. He's breaking from 12 out of 14 here, so he's going to have to see if he could save some ground. If the ground was a little softer, it doesn't bother me having a little bit of a wide post strip, but when it's dry like this, you want to be on the inside. But if he can get over well with the high weight, I think he could get a piece of it. At 8-1, I'll take him here. So to recap my selection for the third, the 320 from Epsom, it's the Great Metropolitan Handicap. Going to go with the 2-horse Firefighting. I'm going to go 253 in the tri-cash trifecta. Let's get to race number 4 from Epsom. The 355 from Epsom, the fourth race, it's the Investec City and Suburban Handicap, Class 2 handicap going for a purse of $64,000. Races for 4-year-olds and upwards, horses rated 86 to 105. Field of 13 horses going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to take the 2-horse Across the Baton. I'm going to go 213 in the tri-cash trifecta. 213 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection of 2-horse Across the Baton. This 4-year-old colt by Dansel. Frankie Dettori gets leg up for John Gosden. The horse's most recent outing came the 15th of August in France at Deauville, a mile and a quarter in the Group 3 Prix Georges d'Arnaud Stakes. He finished 6th by 15 lengths there, and he never was into it. It was the very wet ground, and I just don't think he handled it. It wasn't his day to win. I think back to firm ground, back to Epsom, where he ran a good race back last year, I think he'll run a lot better. Before that, to Maison Lafitte on the 15th July, mile and a quarter in the Group 2 Pre-Eugene Adams Stakes. He finished second by a length there, and he had a really good turn of foot on the inside. He just missed, but he ran a good effort. And then the Group 3 Hampton Court Stakes at Royal Ascot, mile and a quarter, June the 21st. He finished second by 4.5 lengths. If he wasn't drawn so wide, he probably would have won it very easily, but he didn't save enough ground, and he just never had that good turn of foot at the end. Hunting Horn just got the jump on him, and then they ran this horse in the Group 2 Dante at York last in May, a mile and a quarter on firm ground. He finished 7th by 7 lengths. The stablemate Roaring Lion ran a hell of a race. This horse, he just weakened out of it. And then at Epsom here last year in the Derby trial, going a mile and a quarter, he won by a head there, and he had to be used a lot, but he got the job done. It was a very good victory. Back here to Epsom, back to the mile and a quarter trip. I think he'll run a lot better. At 7-2, I'll take him. So to recount my selections for the fourth, the 355 from Epsom, it's the Investec City and Suburban Handicap. Going to take the 2-horse Crossed Baton. I'm going to go 2-1-3 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. Race number 5 now from Epsom. It's the Investec Wealth Novice Stakes. Class 4 Novice going for a purse of $13,000. Race for novice 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds only. Field of 6 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or a mile and 1/16 on the turf course. Top selection, I'm going to take the 3-horse Le Don Devi. I'm going to go 3-2-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 3-2-1 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, the 3-horse Le Don Devi. Ocean Murphy gets leg up for Andrew Balding. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of October at Chelmsford, a mile and a quarter in the Class 4 maiden race. He finished third by 6 3/4 lengths there, and he kind of weakened out of it in the final 16th of a mile. Maybe he wasn't 100% fit going a mile and a quarter for the first time there. He just never got into it. It wasn't his day to win at the end. Before that, a good one on the 4th of September, a mile and a Class 2 maiden. He finished 5th by 6 lengths. Again, he didn't quicken up, but he didn't weaken out of it either. He stayed the distance well. Keep in mind, the winner, Line of Duty, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at Churchill back in November, so he did lose to a good horse there. And then at Newmarket, 1 mile in a Class 4 novice, he finished third by 2.5 lengths. And again, that day he ran well, but he never got that good turn of foot. He's still looking for that first victory. I think the cutback from a mile and a quarter to the extended mile today should suit him a lot. And 4-1, I'll take him. So to recount my selection for the 5th, the 425 from Epsom, it's the Investec Wealth Novice Stakes. Going to take the 3-horse Le Don Devi. I'm going to go 3-2-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. Let's get to the nightcap from Epsom, the 6th race, the 5 o'clock. It is the Investec Private Banking Handicap, Class 4 Handicap, going for a purse of $14,500. Race for 3-year-olds only. Horses rated 66 to 80. Field of 12 horses going 1,700, or a mile and 1/16 on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go to the 10-horse Winter Gleam. I'm going to go 10-3-5 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 10-3-5 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 10-horse Winter Gleam. Harry Bentley's on this William Knight trained 3-0 filly by Kodiak. The filly taking on the boys here. Her most recent outing came the 30th of September at Epsom. 7 furlongs in a Class 4 handicap. Facing the boys that day, she ran a good race. She finished second by a half length. She was drawn wide. She had a decent turn of foot. She had a low weight. She stayed well. It was a decent effort for this horse. Before that, the 6th of September at Salisbury, 7 furlongs in a Class 5 handicap. She finished third by 2 1/4 lengths. She weakened out of it right before the wire, but she still ran a massive effort. And then a race where she didn't run that well came at Camden on the 15th of August, 7 furlongs in Class 5 fillies novice. The last time she faced a filly, she finished 10th by 13 lengths, and she never was into it. I don't know if she liked the all-weather, but she just never was comfortable there. And then before that, she ran at Newbury, 6 furlongs in a Class 4 fillies novice. She finished 6th by 4 lengths. And again, she was drawn, not well. She didn't have the best of trips, and she never got into it. But her last 2 races were decent races. I think coming back to Epsom, back to the mile trip for the first time, or the extended mile 16 trip, I think she'll get around the race course well, and I think she'll get a good race here. Good low weight, 7-1 in a very wide open nightcap. I'll take her. So to recount my selection for the 6th, 5 o'clock from Epsom, it is the Investec Private Banking Handicap. I'm going to go with the 10-horse Winter Gleam. I'm going to go 10-3-5 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses world. And remember to join me later this week for some Sandown previews. Forgot to mention that earlier in the video. Again, we have some great races from Sandown this weekend. Join me here on YouTube for that. Good